As you drift into sleep, your mind enters a hidden realm where the deepest patterns can be rewritten without resistance. Within the sleeping mind code lies the most powerful audio to reprogram your subconscious while you sleep. Listen through the night, and you may awaken as someone entirely new. The Sleeping Mind Code. Introduction. In the quiet sanctuary where waking thought dissolves into dreamlight, you arrive at the hidden threshold, the place where transformation is not imagined, but initiated. This is the realm spoken of in this sacred space between consciousness and dreams, where the mind sheds its outer noise and reveals its deeper, more ancient power. Here, your awareness does not fade, it expands, slipping beyond the limits of reason into something far more fluid and profound. Your sleeping mind is no idle witness. It is a silent alchemist, a creator of unseen worlds, attuning itself to the subtle frequencies of your truest desires. As the noise of the day softens and the vigilant mind releases its grip, a doorway opens, one that leads not into darkness, but into a luminous inner cosmos. Within this sacred expanse, the subconscious does not linger as a vault of forgotten things. It awakens as a radiant landscape, alive with possibility. It speaks in symbols, in sensations, in quiet currents of intention that ripple through your being. Every thought you release into this space becomes a living seed, taking root in ways both mysterious and precise, growing while your body rests in stillness. Belief here is not abstract, it is a creative force. In this deeper state, your mind does not resist or question. It receives, it shapes, it begins to weave your inner visions into threads of lived reality. What you impress upon it in these sacred hours is not debated, it is cultivated. See your consciousness as an eternal field beneath a starlit sky. Each night, you enter it as both gardener and dreamer, planting seeds of healing, abundance, and transformation. The soil does not ask what is possible, it simply nourishes what is given, with unwavering devotion. This is not an illusion. It is the quiet law of inner creation. Your sleeping mind is always listening, beyond doubt, beyond judgment, ready to translate your deepest truths into experience. No dream is too vast, no desire too small. In this sacred space, all is received, and all begins to become. Before we get into the book, comment, "I am ready," to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Awakening Within. Chapter 1. The Gate of the Quiet Mind. As you stand at the threshold of understanding, know that your sleeping mind is a sanctuary of infinite potential. Like Lila, whose inner garden blooms with thought alone, you possess a remarkable capacity to transform your reality through the gentlest of intentions. The art of accessing your subconscious begins with stillness. Imagine your mind as a tranquil pond where ripples of thought can either disturb the surface or create harmonious patterns of creation. When you learn to quiet the turbulent waves of conscious thought, you create a space of profound receptivity. Your conscious mind often operates like a relentless guardian, constantly analyzing, judging, and resisting. But the subconscious speaks a different language, one of acceptance, of pure potential. It does not argue with your intentions. It simply receives and begins to weave your deepest desires into the fabric of reality. Consider how Jonah discovered this truth during his sleepless nights. His mind would race, filled with unspoken anxieties, creating barriers to the very peace he sought. But as he learned to release his grip, to stop demanding and start receiving, something miraculous happened. The tension dissolved, and his mind became a clear channel for transformation. This is the essential wisdom. Your subconscious cannot fill a clenched hand. It requires openness, surrender, and a gentle invitation. The universe responds not to forceful commands, but to clear, peaceful intentions. When you stop fighting against your current reality and instead align with your deepest truths, miraculous shifts begin to occur. Noise is indeed the armor of fear. Each worried thought, each anxious projection creates a shield that prevents your true intentions from reaching the fertile ground of your subconscious. Stillness becomes your most powerful tool, a quiet command that speaks volumes in the language of potential. As you prepare to embrace this wisdom, remember that transformation is not about controlling every detail, but about creating space for possibility. Your sleeping mind is a wise listener, awaiting your most genuine, peaceful directives. Tonight, before drifting into sleep, breathe deeply and picture your heart glowing softly as if moonlight lived inside you. Whisper inwardly, "I release the day and trust the night." Allow this to be your bridge into serenity. With repetition, that peace will write new codes into your sleeping mind, preparing your awakening joy. Chapter 2. The Mirror of Imagining. In the silent chambers of your mind, imagination is not merely a daydream, but the architect of your unfolding reality. Your inner vision carries a power far beyond simple wishful thinking. It is the blueprint from which your life emerges, stroke by careful stroke. Imagine your consciousness as a master painter, with the subconscious mind as your canvas. Every thought you hold with genuine emotion becomes a brushstroke of creation. When you visualize with belief, you are not just dreaming. You are instructing the deepest part of yourself to manifest what you see. Clara understands this intuitively. She closes her eyes and paints her desired life with delicate mental strokes. Warm sunlight streaming through open windows, spontaneous laughter echoing through spacious rooms, an effortless flow of abundance and joy. She does not merely hope, she sees, and in seeing, she begins to command. Your imagination is never idle. It is always working, always creating. The images you repeatedly hold become seeds planted in the fertile ground of your subconscious. These seeds do not simply wait. They grow. They transform. They call forth experiences that match their essential nature. Everett learns this truth through his business struggles. Where once he fought against obstacles, he now chooses to visualize success already achieved. He sees challenges dissolved, clients arriving with ease, inspiration flowing like a clear stream. Not through struggle, but through alignment. The universe responds not to your words, but to the vivid emotional landscape you consistently project. Your inner world is not separate from your outer experience. It is the very template from which your reality is continuously generated. Understand this. Every moment of visualization is a conversation with the infinite intelligence that surrounds and permeates you. When you image with conviction, you are not requesting. You are declaring. Practice. As you fall asleep, mentally rehearse a single joyful outcome as though it were your memory, not your wish. Feel the satisfaction of it until sleep carries you away. Your subconscious will continue the story you have begun, editing your beliefs to match your vision, until waking life must do the same. Chapter 3. The Language of Emotion. You stand at the threshold of understanding that emotions are not mere reactions, but the vibrant language through which your inner world communicates with the universe. Emotions are not random occurrences, but precise signals, crystalline messages from the deepest chambers of your being. Hazel's tears that evening were more than simple sadness. They were liquid wisdom, unspoken energy seeking release and transformation. Each droplet carried a frequency, a silent communication between her inner landscape and the expansive consciousness that surrounds her. Tears are not weakness, but the body's alchemical process of transmuting unexpressed energy. Your emotions are never punishments, but guidance systems. They illuminate the landscape of your beliefs, revealing where alignment exists and where resistance lurks. When joy flows through you, your subconscious receives a clear transmission. When pain echoes within, it signals an outdated belief, requesting gentle revision. Walter's journey mirrors this truth. He discovered that forced positivity creates its own tension, a counterforce of anxiety that undermines genuine transformation. Authentic feeling, by contrast, opens doorways. By allowing emotions their natural flow, he learned that even sadness could become fertile ground for renewal. The universe listens not to your words, but to the emotional resonance behind them. Your feelings are the amplifiers of your desires, the creative fuel that transforms subtle intention into tangible reality. When you feel with integrity, deeply, truly, without judgment, your subconscious mind begins rewriting its internal scripts. This is the profound secret. Emotional honesty is the key that unlocks manifestation. Your feelings are not obstacles, but bridges between what is and what can be. Reflection, practice. As you settle into rest, breathe through your heart and welcome any feeling that remains. Name it silently as acceptance, not rejection. With each breath, feel gratitude wrapping it until it melts into warmth. Sleep will then record peace where resistance once lived. Chapter 4. The Seeds of Belief. In the quiet corners of your inner landscape, beliefs grow like seeds planted in fertile ground, their roots spreading beneath the surface of awareness. You might not see them immediately, but they are always there, silently shaping the terrain of your experience. Nora understands this more intimately than most, though she does not yet know it. Each spring, when she carefully plants shamrocks outside her window, she performs a ritual she inherited from her grandmother, a small act of hope and continuity. But the most significant garden resides not in the earth beyond her window pane, but within the landscape of her mind. Your beliefs are not merely words you speak, but emotional landscapes you inhabit. They are the ground in which your experiences take root, the soil that determines what will flourish and what will wither. When you repeatedly affirm something, whether through thought, speech, or feeling, you are instructing your subconscious on what constitutes your normal. Consider Arthur, a man long trapped in the wilderness of scarcity. For years, he viewed money as an elusive creature, always just beyond his reach. His inner narrative whispered constant messages of lack. There's never enough. Money slips through my fingers. I can't seem to get ahead. These were not just idle thoughts, but emotional seeds planted deep within his subconscious. The transformation began when Arthur consciously decided to change his emotional relationship with abundance. He started acknowledging every financial interaction, no matter how small, with genuine gratitude. A found coin became a celebration. A friend's treat was received with heartfelt appreciation. Each act of generosity, whether towards him or witnessed, was internalized as evidence of life's inherent abundance. Slowly, imperceptibly, the landscape of his inner world began to shift. The roots of scarcity started to loosen, making way for more nourishing beliefs. Opportunities he had previously overlooked now appeared with surprising clarity. Connections that could lead to financial growth emerged naturally. Your subconscious does not argue with your deepest emotional convictions. It simply accepts and manifests what feels most familiar to you. Change the feeling of normal, and you redesign the entire ecosystem of your experience. Drift into sleep, replaying a memory of receiving something beautiful. Relive it until the feeling saturates every cell, then whisper inwardly, "This is my natural state." The subconscious will make that truth bloom again. Chapter 5. The Gentle Command. You are not alone in the nightly battle with your inner critic. Like Mabel, countless souls wrestle with the relentless voices that whisper judgment and undermine your deepest potential. Your subconscious mind is not a battlefield to be conquered, but a gentle landscape waiting to be transformed. Mabel's journey reveals a profound truth. The language of your inner world determines the landscape of your outer reality. Each harsh word you speak to yourself is a seed of limitation. Each critical thought a barrier to your true expression. Your subconscious does not argue with these messages. It accepts them as truth, weaving them into the fabric of your existence. When Mabel first recognized the harshness of her internal dialogue, she understood something revolutionary. The mind does not respond to force, but to compassion. Like a tender gardener nurturing delicate seedlings, she began to speak to herself with unprecedented gentleness. Her critical voice, once a thundering storm, began to soften into a whisper of understanding. Simon's experience mirrored this transformation. His pattern of self-criticism had been a heavy chain, binding his potential and dimming his natural creativity. Procrastination was not a character flaw, but a symptom of an internal dialogue that felt unsafe and unconducive to action. By replacing harsh self-judgment with compassionate affirmation, he discovered a wellspring of motivation. The universal principle emerged with crystal clarity. Your subconscious is a faithful servant, not an adversary. It does not discern between supportive and destructive messages. It simply receives and reflects. When you speak to yourself with kindness, you are rewriting the fundamental script of your inner world. This is not about toxic positivity or denying challenges. It is about creating an internal environment of safety where growth can occur naturally. Your inner dialogue is the root system from which all of your experiences bloom. Before sleep practice. Before sleep, place a hand over your heart and speak a quiet phrase of affection to yourself. Feel its echo in every cell, continuing until dreams take you. By morning, your subconscious will remember kindness as your native language. Chapter 6. The Night of Trust. In the soft shadows of her evening chamber, Elsie unfolds a weathered notebook, her sacred repository of uncertainties. Each page represents a worry once tightly gripped, now gently released into the universe's expansive embrace. You understand, perhaps for the first time, that control is an illusion that fragments your natural power. When you learn to surrender, something miraculous occurs. Your energy stops creating resistance and begins aligning with the silent, intelligent forces surrounding you. Surrender is not passive defeat, but an active trust in the unseen mechanisms of creation. Elsie's ritual of writing down her anxieties and placing the notebook beneath her pillow is more than a symbolic gesture. It is a profound declaration of faith. Each worry transformed into ink becomes a seed of potential, no longer consuming her inner landscape, but offered to a greater wisdom. Henry's journey mirrors this principle. Exhausted from pursuing love through desperate strategies, he redirects his focus inward. Instead of chasing connection, he begins nurturing himself with the same tenderness he once sought externally. In this radical act of self-love, something unexpected emerges. Affection begins flowing toward him effortlessly. The universal law reveals itself through such moments. When you remove the blockages of desperation and fear, what you desire can finally reach you. Your intentions are not something to force, but to trust. Manifestation's most potent ingredient is not effort, but faith, a quiet knowing that what you seek is already complete. It exists in the quantum realm, waiting only for your alignment to become visible. As sleep gathers, imagine yourself floating on calm water while whispering, "Everything good is coming to meet me." Let trust cradle you into the healing rhythm of rest until morning introduces proof of unseen completion. Chapter 7. The Echo of Thought. In the quiet chambers of your inner world, every whispered thought creates ripples that expand far beyond the moment of their utterance. You are not merely thinking, you are casting spells into the universe, each repetition etching deeper grooves into the malleable landscape of your subconscious mind. Ruth embodied this truth without understanding it. Every night her mind would replay anxious narratives like worn recordings. What if something goes wrong? I never catch a break. Things are always difficult for me. These were not idle musings, but precise instructions she was sending into the depths of her sleeping mind, instructing her reality to manifest exactly what she feared. The subconscious does not discriminate between what you want and what you repeatedly affirm. It listens with perfect fidelity, absorbing the emotional resonance of your most consistent thoughts. Like water wearing away stone, your habitual inner dialogue shaped the terrain of your experiences. Pete discovered this when he noticed a pattern of perpetual tardiness. Each morning he would mutter, "I'm always late," as if pronouncing an immutable fact. But these were not mere observations, they were commands. His subconscious, obedient and literal, transformed those words into a lived reality. The moment Pete recognized this mechanism, he began to shift his language. "I move exactly on time," he started whispering, not as a wishful hope, but as a statement of existing truth. Gradually, his external world began to align with this new internal narrative. Your thoughts are not powerless utterances drifting into silence. They are living seeds, carrying within them the potential of entire forests. What you repeat with emotion becomes the blueprint your subconscious uses to construct your experience. This is the law of repetition. Consistency is the chisel that sculpts reality. Your conscious mind stands as the artist, and your subconscious is the marble, waiting to be shaped by the persistent touch of your most deeply felt thoughts. The power lies not in occasional grand declarations, but in the quiet, persistent whispers you allow to take root in your inner landscape. Practice. While lying in bed, select one thought that feels bright and reassuring. Repeat it softly until it drips beneath awareness. That rhythm becomes the lullaby your subconscious learns by heart. Chapter 8. The River of Allowing. You stand at the edge of understanding, where the turbulent waters of effort meet the serene shores of surrender. June's journey is your journey, a universal passage through the mystical landscape of attraction, where struggle dissolves and grace emerges. In her dream, June rose upstream with desperate strokes, muscles burning, sweat glistening against the twilight. Each push against the current represents your habitual way of pursuing dreams. Forceful, controlled, believing progress demands constant exertion. But then, a profound moment of revelation arrives. When she finally releases the oars, exhausted, something miraculous occurs. The boat begins moving effortlessly, guided by an unseen current, stronger than her individual will. This is the art of allowing, a sacred principle whispered through generations of wisdom traditions. When you stop fighting reality, reality starts flowing through you. Your anxiety about how something will happen creates invisible barriers, like rocks interrupting a river's natural path. The universe operates with an intelligence far beyond your conscious plotting, and your most powerful action is often radical acceptance. Floyd's experience mirrors this universal truth. A professional constantly strategizing and manipulating every professional opportunity, he discovered transformation happens not through relentless effort, but through trust. The moment he released his tight grip on controlling outcomes, unexpected opportunities began emerging. Synchronicities appeared, where before there was only struggle. Understand this: obsession declares lack. Calm expectation declares abundance. When you want something with desperate tension, you fundamentally communicate its absence to the deeper realms of consciousness. But when you rest in quiet knowing, when you truly believe without doubt, you send a different signal altogether. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what is and what you believe will be. It simply accepts and begins constructing bridges toward your most consistent inner narrative. By dropping resistance, you allow the natural current of attraction to carry you toward your deepest desires. Before sleeping, visualize yourself floating peacefully downstream beneath a starlit sky, whispering, "I let life carry me easily. Sleep will finish the journey you began." Chapter 9. The Power of Gratitude. You stand at the threshold of a profound revelation, a moment when the landscape of your inner world transforms through the simple yet powerful act of appreciation. B's journey illuminates this truth, a path that begins with a worn notebook filled with grievances and ends in a garden of unexpected abundance. For years, B had been meticulously documenting every disappointment, every slight, every perceived lack in her life. Her complaint list was a testament to perceived scarcity, a map of frustration carefully drawn with ink of resistance. But on one ordinary evening, something extraordinary occurred. She found herself reading through the litany of grievances, and suddenly the weight of her own narrative became unbearable. In that moment of clarity, she began a radical experiment. Beside each complaint, she wrote a corresponding blessing. A grumble about her small apartment became an appreciation for a safe shelter. A criticism about her income transformed into gratitude for meaningful work. A lament about loneliness shifted into recognition of cherished friendships. The universe listens not to your words, but to the emotional frequency they carry. Gratitude is the tuning fork that realigns your inner vibration, transforming what you perceive as lack into an experience of abundance. Your subconscious does not argue with your emotional state. It simply manifests the landscape you consistently paint. Chester's journey mirrors this truth. Battling chronic health challenges, he had long resented his body's limitations. But when he began thanking his body each night, acknowledging its resilience, its continuous attempts to heal, its silent work of regeneration, something profound shifted. His healing accelerated not through struggle, but through recognition. Gratitude is not a passive state, but an active power. It is the emotional password that unlocks continuous miracles. When you focus on abundance, you signal to the deepest parts of yourself that plenty is your natural state. The law of attraction responds not to your demands, but to your genuine appreciation. Your subconscious is an obedient servant, perpetually listening. It does not distinguish between what you fear and what you celebrate. It simply amplifies whatever receives your consistent attention. By choosing gratitude, you reprogram your inner landscape, teaching yourself that generosity is your birthright. As you close your eyes, think of 3 sensations in your body to appreciate. Whisper thanks for their quiet service, feeling warmth spread through you. In sleep, that vibration teaches your subconscious that your world is already generous. Chapter 10. The Voice of Worthiness. In the quiet corners of her mind, Ivy had woven a tapestry of apologies, threads of self-doubt so intricate they seemed like a protective shield. Yet this shield was nothing more than a veil obscuring her true radiance. Your worthiness is not a privilege to be earned, but a birthright to be remembered. The universe whispers constantly of your inherent value, but years of internal narratives can muffle these gentle truths. Ivy's journey began when she noticed how her constant apologetic stance was not humility, but a profound misunderstanding of her own essence. Each sorry was a command to the subconscious that she was less, undeserving, perpetually in debt to the world. Your subconscious does not argue with your declarations. It listens, it accepts, it creates. When you repeatedly signal unworthiness, it constructs a reality matching those signals with mechanical precision. Ivy's life had been a reflection of her internal whispers, opportunities sliding past, connections remaining superficial, abundance always at arm's length. Ralph's story mirrored this principle. His professional life became a revolving door of almost success, with opportunities appearing and vanishing like mirages. Each time potential arose, something would mysteriously intervene, until he understood that the intervention was coming from within, his own subconscious rejecting what he did not believe he deserved. By affirming nightly, "I am ready to receive easily," Ralph rewrote his internal script. The subconscious, that silent architect of reality, began reconstructing his external world to match this new declaration. Opportunities no longer slipped away, but took root, flourished, remained. Your worth is not determined by external validation, but by the conviction with which you hold your own value. The subconscious is a faithful servant, mirroring your deepest beliefs with unwavering loyalty. When you raise your estimation of yourself, life cannot help but reflect that elevated perception. As night embraces you, imagine standing in a golden light, repeating the truth, "I am loved, safe, and worthy." Drift off as though nothing more needs earning. You will wake fluent in deserving. Part 2. The Hidden Architect. Chapter 11. The Bridge of Sleep. In the hushed realm between consciousness and dreams, your mind becomes a sacred workshop where reality's blueprints are silently drafted. You stand at the threshold of creation's most mysterious gateway, sleep, where the conscious mind rests and the subconscious architect awakens. Betsy had always wondered about the mysterious journey of prayers whispered into the darkness. What happens to those tender words, those heartfelt wishes murmured just before slumber? The answer lies in the profound alchemy of your brain's nocturnal landscape. As you drift toward sleep, your brain waves begin a remarkable transformation. The rapid, analytical frequencies of your waking state slowly dissolve, giving way to slower, deeper rhythms. These are the wavelengths where the subconscious mind becomes most receptive, most malleable. Here, the barriers between imagination and reality thin, allowing your deepest intentions to seep into the fertile soil of potential. Elmer understood this principle through his own restless journey. A chronic overthinker, he had spent years fighting against his thoughts, attempting to silence the mental chatter through sheer willpower. But true peace, he discovered, was not about suppression, but strategic transmission. By carefully selecting and whispering specific affirmations at the edge of sleep, he learned to communicate directly with his subconscious mind. Each night became a deliberate act of creation. Instead of allowing random thoughts to scatter his energy, Elmer would choose a precise intention. "I am calm and focused," he would whisper. "Opportunities flow to me with ease." These were not mere words, but seeds planted in the most fertile ground of consciousness. The science of sleep reveals that during certain brainwave states, particularly theta and delta waves, your mind becomes an open channel. The conscious mind's critical filter drops, allowing direct communication with your deeper programming. What you imprint during these moments becomes a powerful instruction to your internal system. Your sleeping mind does not distinguish between reality and vivid imagination. It interprets your most dominant thoughts and feelings as commands, beginning immediate work on transforming those internal signals into external experiences. This is why the moments before sleep are so critically important. They are your most direct line of communication with the subconscious architect. Consider your nighttime thoughts as architectural blueprints. Each image, each emotion, each whispered intention becomes a design element in the structure of your upcoming reality. The subconscious mind does not judge these plans. It simply begins construction, using the materials you provide. Tonight, end your day by softly stating the mood you want to meet tomorrow. Then surrender to sleep, trusting construction has begun. By dawn, the blueprint takes shape in feeling first, form later. Chapter 12. The Golden Image. You stand at the threshold of transformation, where the whispers of your deepest self become the architects of your reality. Tessie's journey illuminates a sacred truth. Your self-image is the invisible blueprint that shapes every experience, every opportunity, every moment of your life. Imagine yourself as a master painter and your consciousness the canvas. Each thought is a brush stroke, each emotion a color that defines the landscape of your existence. When Tessie prepared for her pivotal interview, she did not merely hope for success, she became success. Her inner vision painted her as confident, capable, radiant. The warmth that spread through her was not just anticipation, but the energy of transformation itself. The subconscious mind knows no difference between what is imagined with intense feeling and what is physically real. It operates on the currency of belief, responding to the identity you most consistently project. Like a loyal servant, it works tirelessly to match your external world with your internal landscape. Doyle's story echoes this universal principle. For years, he wore the cloak of misfortune, declaring himself unlucky. His words were spells that bound him to limitation. But when he began to change his nightly narrative, something miraculous occurred. Each evening he would close his eyes and visualize success, not as a distant dream, but as his current reality. He saw himself thriving, opportunities flowing, confidence radiating from within. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, luck began to shift. Opportunities that once seemed invisible now appeared with startling clarity. Connections emerged. Chances materialized. The universe was not granting him something new, but reflecting back the identity he had carefully cultivated in the quiet moments before sleep. Your identity is a living, breathing entity. It is not fixed, but fluid, capable of radical transformation when you understand its language. The subconscious speaks through feeling, through repetition, through the images you rehearse when the world grows quiet. You are not waiting to become something. You are constantly becoming with each thought, each breath, each moment of intention. The interview, the opportunity, the success, these are merely external confirmations of the internal reality you have already created. Your practice tonight is an invitation to alchemy. Before surrendering to sleep, create a vivid mental portrait of yourself living tomorrow's experience as your most empowered self. See the details, the confidence in your posture, the clarity in your voice, the ease in your movements. Let a gentle wave of admiration and love wash over you. As sleep approaches, rest within this reflection. Your subconscious will work through the night, carefully repainting your sense of self in its most golden, luminous likeness. Chapter 13. The Shadow of Resistance. You stand at the threshold of your own becoming, where fear weaves intricate patterns that can bind or liberate. Lucy's journey illuminates a universal truth. Resistance is not a wall, but a whispered conversation between your present self and the shadows of past beliefs. Fear often masquerades as wisdom, presenting logical arguments that seem protective but are, in truth, ancient barriers constructed from outdated experiences. Your subconscious mind holds these constructions like precious artifacts, believing they shield you from potential harm. But what once protected you can now constrain your expansion. Lucy's fears were eloquent storytellers. They spoke of danger and change, of risks lurking behind every unfamiliar doorway. Her mind constructed elaborate narratives explaining why staying small was safer, why dreams were best left as distant fantasies. Each argument sounded rational, protection disguised as prudence. Dale's experience mirrors this internal landscape. A potential promotion beckoned, yet invisible forces seem to push it away. Beneath the surface, an unconscious belief whispered that success would isolate him, creating distance from his friends and familiar community. This belief, born from childhood observations and unexamined assumptions, acted as an unseen puppeteer, manipulating his opportunities. When Dale finally recognized this belief, he did something remarkable. Instead of fighting the fear, he acknowledged it. He thanked the part of himself that had been trying to keep him safe, understanding that this protective mechanism was no longer serving his highest growth. By extending compassion to his own resistance, he dissolved its power. Your subconscious does not resist you. It follows you. It is a faithful servant waiting for clear, loving instructions. Resistance is not an enemy, but a signal, a gentle tap on your inner shoulder, asking you to look deeper, to understand the roots of your hesitation. The transformation begins with awareness. When you shine the light of understanding on your fears, they lose their mysterious power. They become transparent, revealing themselves as nothing more than old stories waiting to be rewritten. As you prepare for rest, you hold the key to releasing these outdated narratives. Your breath becomes a bridge between conscious intention and subconscious transformation. Practice. As you rest, whisper, "I now release every belief that no longer helps me." Exhale softly until calm spreads like mist. Sleep transforms release into freedom. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Law of Harmony. You have forgotten something essential about creation. Harmony is not a destination, but a constant state of being. Just as Ada observes the wind and birds moving without collision, your inner world can learn to flow with similar grace. Nature knows no competition, only collaboration. Each element, the rustling leaf, the singing bird, the whispering breeze, contributes without struggle, without trying to overpower another. Your manifestations work identically. When internal rhythms clash, your external reality becomes discordant. Marvin's journey illuminates this principle perfectly. For years, he chased success while harboring a hidden belief that prosperity meant sacrificing peace. His ambition fought against his deeper fears. Success would approach, then mysteriously retreat, a reflection of his inner turbulence. The moment Marvin recognized this internal friction, everything changed. He began practicing gratitude alongside his professional aspirations. Instead of seeing achievement as a battle, he viewed it as an extension of his natural flow. His resentment dissolved, replaced by genuine appreciation for each opportunity. Resistance appears logical, but it is merely fear wearing an intellectual disguise. It whispers seemingly rational arguments. What if you fail? What if success changes you? What if you're not worthy? These questions are not truth, but barriers constructed by an older, protective self. When you recognize resistance, you do not fight it. You acknowledge it, thank it for its historical service, and gently guide it aside. Like an outdated map, it once served a purpose but no longer represents your current terrain. Your subconscious listens constantly, absorbing not just your words, but the emotional landscape surrounding those words. Harmony emerges when your thoughts, feelings, and intentions vibrate at the same frequency, when your inner music plays a coherent melody. Interpretation. Your external world is a perfect mirror of your internal symphony. Dissonance creates struggle. Alignment creates flow. Lying in bed, hum softly, feeling vibration smooth every rough mood. Let the body become an instrument tuned to peace. The subconscious will match this melody tomorrow. Chapter 15. The Secret Pattern. You have always sensed something mysterious lurking beneath the surface of ordinary reality, a hidden language speaking through numbers, symbols, and seemingly random encounters. Today you will learn that these are not mere coincidences, but elegant communications from the universe, carefully crafted messages from your own subconscious mind. Amy first notices the pattern when repeated number sequences begin appearing. 1111 on clocks, 222 on license plates, 333 in unexpected places. Initially dismissing these as random occurrences, she soon realizes these are not accidents, but intentional signals from a deeper intelligence within her. The universal principle reveals itself. Synchronicity is not chance, but communication. Every repeated pattern is your subconscious mind's way of confirming that you are aligned with an unseen current of energy. These numerical whispers are breadcrumbs left by your inner wisdom, guiding you toward your truest path. Leonard experiences this principle profoundly when, after weeks of affirming divine guidance, feathers begin appearing everywhere, on sidewalks, beside his car, floating through open windows. Where once he might have seen these as meaningless, he now understands them as the universe's playful acknowledgement of his intentional prayers. Each synchronistic moment is a conversation between your conscious desires and the quantum field of potential. When you send a clear signal through consistent belief and emotion, reality responds not with words, but with meaningful patterns that catch your attention and spark recognition. Your subconscious mind operates beyond linear logic. It communicates through symbols, feelings, and sequences that transcend ordinary language. These synchronicities are its method of saying, "I hear you. I am working on your behalf. Trust the unfolding." The key is not to chase or force these signs, but to remain open and receptive. Synchronicity emerges naturally when you maintain inner alignment, when your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs resonate at the same vibrational frequency. It is less about making something happen and more about allowing something to reveal itself. As you integrate this understanding, you begin to see the world not as a series of random events, but as an intelligent, responsive system constantly communicating with your deepest intentions. Every repeated number, unexpected encounter, or curious coincidence becomes a sacred message, a whisper from the universe confirming your connection to something greater. Interpretation. Patterns are the universe's way of remarking, "I heard you." They are love letters written in the language of alignment, inviting you to trust the unseen orchestration constantly happening on your behalf. As you lie down, declare, "Everything around me reflects my inner joy." Then surrender to the knowing that signs will wink back at you come daylight. Chapter 16. The Door of Forgiveness. In the quiet moments before dawn, you carry within you landscapes of unresolved pain, memories etched like shadows on the walls of your inner world. Rita knows this terrain intimately, her heart a museum of grievances, each exhibit carefully preserved, each wound meticulously remembered. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what happened and what you continually replay. Each time you revisit a moment of betrayal, each instant you rehash an old hurt, you are not remembering. You are recreating. The sleeping mind understands only repetition, not context. It hears your emotional echo and believes this is the story you wish to continue. Forgiveness is not about pardoning another's actions. It is an internal alchemy that transforms locked energy into flowing potential. When you hold on to resentment, you are essentially giving your power away, allowing past moments to dictate your present landscape. The subconscious interprets this holding as a command. This is how my life feels. Clyde discovered this truth when a longtime business partner betrayed him. For months, he carried the weight of that betrayal, allowing it to color every interaction, every opportunity. His mind was a closed circuit, electricity of anger running endlessly through the same worn pathway. Then something shifted. One evening, in a moment of unexpected grace, Clyde chose to bless his former partner, not to condone the action, but to release himself from the invisible chains of resentment. He visualized sending pure, clear light, not as a gesture of weakness, but as an act of radical personal liberation. The moment he did this, something inside him relaxed. The tightness around his heart dissolved. His subconscious received a new instruction. I am free. I choose peace. Within weeks, opportunities began flowing differently, not because the external world had changed, but because his internal landscape had transformed. The energy previously trapped in resentment now moved freely, like water finding a new riverbed. Your subconscious is always listening, always creating. When you hold on to grievances, you are essentially telling it, this is the emotional environment I wish to inhabit. But when you choose forgiveness, you open doorways to unexpected renewal. Forgiveness is not about forgetting. It is about freeing yourself from the continuous replay of pain. It is understanding that your inner world is sacred ground, and you get to decide what grows there. Practice. Before sleep, imagine sending light to anyone you still resist. Feel peace take their place. Rest inside the spacious relief of letting go. Chapter 17. The Light of Intention. In the quiet realms of creation, where thoughts weave the fabric of reality, you are about to discover the profound art of precise intention. Your subconscious is not a vague listener, but a precise instrument waiting for clear instructions. Like a skilled navigator charting a course through misty waters, your mind requires exact coordinates to manifest your deepest desires. Opal discovered this truth during a moment of profound realization. She had spent years mumbling wishes into the universe. I want happiness. I desire success. Words as nebulous as morning fog. These vague utterances were like whispers cast into wind, dissipating before they could take root in the fertile ground of her subconscious. The universe, you must understand, responds not to casual suggestions, but to focused, emotionally charged intentions. Imagine your desire as a beam of light. The more concentrated its frequency, the more powerfully it pierces through the veils of potential realities. Vague wishes create blurred outcomes. Precise intentions sculpt exact experiences. Ray's journey illuminated this principle beautifully. Instead of broadly wishing for family peace, he learned to specify, I choose compassionate communication where each family member feels heard and respected. He didn't just hope. He painted a vivid emotional landscape. and miraculously, family dynamics began transforming. Conversations that once carried undertones of tension now flowed with understanding. Your subconscious is like a loyal servant awaiting clear commands. It does not interpret, it executes. When you speak with emotional clarity, you're not making a request. You're issuing a directive. The mind follows precise music, not muffled sound. Each intention must be a symphony, not a scattered note. Precision requires more than words. It demands feeling. Your emotional state is the color that paints your intention, the vibration that gives it life. When you wish for something, you must feel it so deeply that the boundary between desire and reality becomes gossamer thin. Consider how a lighthouse guides ships. Its beam cuts through darkness with unwavering specificity. Your intentions must function similarly, bright, focused, unambiguous. The subconscious follows such clarity as naturally as stars follow magnetic fields. As you prepare to drift into the realm of dreams, where the conscious mind steps back and the subconscious takes center stage, remember this sacred practice of precise intention. When drifting to sleep, form one clear intention framed in joy and feel it glowing ahead like a lighthouse. Let that light guide your dreams into alignment. Chapter 18. The Frequency of Love. You stand at the threshold of your most profound discovery. Love is not merely an emotion, but a universal frequency that rewrites the very code of your reality. Gwen's journey illuminates this sacred truth, revealing how intentional compassion transforms the landscape of experience more powerfully than any strategic effort. When Gwen began placing kindness at the center of her inner landscape, something miraculous occurred. Coincidences began rushing toward her like gentle waves drawn to a quiet shore. Where once she navigated life through calculation and guard, she now moved with an open heart, watching as the universe responded to her newfound softness. Love, you understand now, is the highest vibration, a pure signal that dissolves resistance without struggle. It transcends effort, becoming an effortless magnetic field that attracts alignment and grace. Your subconscious does not argue with love, it simply harmonizes. Clyde Ann's transformation mirrors this principle. Exhausted from years of defensive interactions and heated arguments, she discovered a radical practice. Instead of countering conflict, she began blessing everyone silently. Each person who triggered her, the aggressive driver, the critical colleague, the distant relative, received her quiet, internal benediction. Remarkably, conflicts began to dissolve, not through confrontation, but through the pure alchemy of compassionate intention. Her inner landscape shifted, and external circumstances followed suit. The world around her softened, reflecting the tender frequency she now radiated. This is the profound secret. Attraction is not about controlling outcomes, but about tuning your inner instrument to love's pure frequency. When motivation shifts from fear to affection, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. As slumber approaches, recall 3 moments you gave or received love. Let warmth fill your chest and spread. Sleep within that pulse and awaken magnetic. Chapter 19. The Field of Synchronicity. Your subconscious holds a secret rhythm more precise than any mechanical clock. Pearl's life becomes a living testament to this universal orchestration, where missed connections are not accidents but carefully woven design. She stands on the train platform, watching her intended train glide away, feeling no panic, only a curious calm. The next train arrives minutes later, and in that unexpected moment, a conversation begins that will transform her entire professional trajectory. Her future collaborator sits beside her, their meeting seeming random, yet feeling inevitable. The universe does not operate by linear time, but by alignment. When your inner frequency matches your deepest intentions, external events reshape themselves to support your journey. Synchronization is not coincidence. It is conversation between your subconscious desires and the infinite intelligence surrounding you. Victor understands this principle intimately. Where others see delays as frustrations, he recognizes them as recalibration. A postponed meeting leads to a more perfect connection. A missed opportunity unveils a superior pathway. Each seemingly inconvenient moment carries within it the seeds of perfect unfolding. Your perception determines everything. When you trust that every moment is precisely arranged for your highest good, life begins to dance to an unseen melody. The subconscious does not understand disappointment. It only understands intention and belief. Your inner narrative rewrites external reality, moment by moment. Timing is not about control, but about surrender. You are not manipulating events, but aligning with their inherent intelligence. The universe knows pathways you cannot see, and when you release your grip on how things should happen, miracles emerge from the spaces between your expectations. Interpretation. You are never late in the universe that measures moments by readiness, not clocks. Your inner alignment determines external manifestation, and divine timing moves through you with grace beyond human understanding. Surrender to sleep by affirming, "Everything unfolds in perfect time for me." Dream in the rhythm of divine timing, peaceful in its orchestration. Chapter 20. The Art of Renewal. In the quiet landscape of your inner world, transformation whispers its eternal truth. You are not bound by the narratives you have carried, the stories etched into your memory, or the limitations you once believed defined you. Each night, as you drift into slumber, your subconscious awaits like a patient sculptor, ready to reshape the clay of your existence. Daisy understood this secret when she realized her past was not a prison, but a mere collection of experiences. Her life had been a tapestry woven with threads of hesitation and self-doubt, patterns she had unconsciously repeated for years. But something shifted when she learned that identity is fluid, not fixed, that who you are is a continuous invitation to renewal. Her transformation began not with grand gestures, but with a simple acknowledgement. Every night offers a blank canvas. The subconscious does not judge your previous drafts. It simply stands ready to receive your newest vision. Like a gentle gardener, it tends to the seeds of thought you plant just before sleep, nurturing them with unwavering devotion. Emmett's journey mirrored this wisdom. A lifelong pessimist, he had grown accustomed to expecting the worst. But when he learned about the subconscious mind's malleability, he began a nightly ritual of gratitude. Before sleeping, he would recall 3 moments of unexpected kindness, 3 instances where life had been surprisingly generous. Slowly, his inner landscape transformed. The interpretation is profound yet simple. Who you have been is merely a suggestion, not an immutable sentence. Your identity is not a stone carving, but a river, always moving, always changing, always capable of finding a new course. Your subconscious does not resist change. It craves it. It is the most adaptable part of you, waiting patiently to be guided by your most tender intentions. Each night offers a reset, a chance to repaint your inner landscape with colors of possibility. Before sleep, envision yourself shedding yesterday like petals from a flower. Feel the raw freshness of your becoming. Slumber will print that new edition of you. Part 3. The Waking Dream. Chapter 21. The Morning Echo. In the gossamer moments between sleep and wakefulness, you hold a power more potent than you might imagine. Each morning is not merely the start of a new day, but the continuation of a sacred conversation begun in the depths of your night's rest. Your first thought is a bridge, connecting the wisdom whispered by your subconscious during sleep to the unfolding landscape of your waking hours. Nancy discovered this truth in a moment of quiet revelation. For years, she had greeted mornings with a cascade of anxieties, mental inventories of potential problems, unresolved concerns, and lingering worries. These first thoughts were like heavy anchors, dragging her consciousness into turbulent waters before her day had truly begun. But something profound shifted when she understood that morning is not a separate realm from night, but its direct extension. Your subconscious does not suddenly disconnect when your eyes flutter open. Instead, it continues broadcasting the last frequency you tuned into before sleep, amplifying those final thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Gerald's transformation illustrated this principle beautifully. Once trapped in a cycle of morning anxiety, he learned to intentionally shift his first waking moments. Instead of allowing his mind to rush into worry, he began greeting the dawn with deliberate gratitude. Before fully opening his eyes, he would take a deep breath and silently acknowledge the miracle of another day. The practice is subtle, yet powerful. By consciously choosing your first thought, you send a clear signal to your subconscious about how you wish to experience the day. Your inner mind, ever obedient, begins to reconstruct your external reality to match that internal directive. Imagine your consciousness as a radio receiver. The frequency you select in those first moments determines the entire broadcast of your day. Anxiety tunes you to a static-filled channel of limitation, while gratitude opens a crystal-clear transmission of possibility. This is not mere positive thinking, but a profound understanding of how consciousness operates. Your subconscious does not differentiate between dream and reality. It simply follows the emotional blueprint you provide. When you consistently greet the morning with peace, you are reprogramming your internal operating system. The interpretation resonates with timeless wisdom. Every sunrise is a repetition of your last night's mantra. Your morning is not a new beginning, but a continuation of the narrative you've been writing in the quiet realm of sleep. As you emerge from sleep, smile before opening eyes and think, I continue my night of peace into this living day. Chapter 22. The Circle of Giving. When you understand the sacred rhythm of giving, you unlock the most profound law of abundance. Your subconscious does not merely record transactions, it registers the emotional landscape of generosity, transforming each act of sharing into a beacon of prosperity. Polly discovered this truth quietly, almost accidentally. Each morning, she would leave small, anonymous gifts, a bouquet for her neighbor's doorstep, extra coins in a street musician's case, a kind note with an unexpected tip. These were not grand gestures, but whispers of compassion, sent without expectation of return. Yet something remarkable began to unfold. Where Polly had once felt scarcity pinching at her edges, abundance now seemed to flow toward her like a gentle river. Unexpected opportunities appeared. Strangers offered assistance without solicitation. Her work, previously stagnant, began to pulse with creative energy. The universe, she realized, responds to the frequency of your giving. When you emit generosity, you signal to your deeper consciousness that you possess more than enough. Each gift becomes a declaration, I am abundant. I have surplus to share. Harlan witnessed a similar transformation in his professional life. A consultant who had guarded his expertise jealously, he began freely sharing knowledge with colleagues and young professionals. Instead of diminishing his value, this openness attracted more significant contracts, speaking engagements, and collaborative opportunities. Your inner architect, the subconscious mind, interprets giving as a form of trust. When you release resources without fear, you communicate fundamental abundance. You are declaring that life's good is not a limited resource to be hoarded, but an infinite stream in which everyone can drink. The emotional signature of your giving matters more than its monetary value. A gift handed over with joy and openness carries a different vibration than one given with resentment or calculation. Your subconscious reads these nuanced, energetic messages and constructs your reality accordingly. As night approaches and sleep beckons, imagine each act of generosity you've performed glowing like soft lanterns, illuminating pathways of future blessing. Drift to rest, imagining each gift you shared glowing like lanterns that light your path. Sleep carries their reflections into new blessings. Chapter 23. The Calm of Certainty. You stand at the threshold of understanding that worry is not preparation but interference. Edna's restless nights reveal a fundamental truth about manifestation. Certainty is not something you chase, but something you embody. In the soft silence between thought and sleep, you learn that true belief carries no tension. It moves like a river, smooth, unquestioning, inevitable. Your subconscious does not wrestle with doubt. It simply accepts what you present as truth. Leonardine's journey illuminates this principle. She had been a master of anxious affirmation, repeating phrases with a desperate energy that betrayed her underlying disbelief. "I am successful," she would whisper, her voice trembling with the very uncertainty she sought to banish. But success is not summoned through frantic incantation. It emerges from a profound, unshakable knowing. When Leonardine finally understood this, her approach transformed. Instead of trying to convince herself, she simply assumed her desired outcome. Her statements became statements of fact rather than hopeful wishes. "I am successful" became a quiet declaration, spoken with the same calm certainty one might use to say, "The sky is blue." The universe responds to this energy of calm conviction. Your subconscious does not differentiate between what is and what you believe will be. It only recognizes the frequency of your inner state. Doubt creates static. Certainty creates clarity. Imagine your beliefs as a clear, still pond. When the water is turbulent with worry, the reflection is distorted. But when the surface becomes smooth, everything reflects with perfect precision. This is how your inner world manifests in the outer reality. Leonardine's life began to shift not through extraordinary effort, but through a subtle realignment of her inner landscape. Opportunities emerged, connections appeared. Success found her because she had already accepted it as her natural state. The interpretation is profound in its simplicity. Certainty is the still water, where truth reflects perfectly. Your subconscious is not a battlefield to be conquered, but a faithful servant waiting for clear, calm instructions. As you drift to slumber, rest in the sentence, "All is well now." Let confidence replace effort until dreams conduct serenity. Chapter 24. The Memory Temple. In the soft twilight between waking and dreaming, you stand at the threshold of memory's most profound secret. Your memories are not static photographs locked in time, but living landscapes that can be reshaped, recolored, and reimagined. Each memory carries an emotional charge that either anchors you to past pain or launches you toward future joy. Sylvie understands this truth intimately. For years she carried memories like heavy stones, each recollection weighted with disappointment and regret. Her past seemed a tangled forest where old hurts grew thick and persistent. But as she learns to reframe her memories, something miraculous begins to happen. When Sylvie first encounters the teaching of emotional memory reconstruction, she is skeptical. How can revisiting old experiences change anything? Yet as she begins to approach her memories with curiosity instead of judgment, she notices subtle shifts. A painful breakup becomes a lesson in self-love. A professional setback transforms into an opportunity for unexpected growth. Vernon walks a similar path. His heart, once shattered by a relationship that ended abruptly, becomes a testament to transformation. Instead of nursing his wounds, he starts to see his past love as a teacher. Each moment of pain becomes a brushstroke of wisdom, painting a more expansive understanding of himself. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between a remembered experience and a current one. It responds to the emotional tone you assign. When you bathe a memory in gratitude, in compassion, in understanding, you reprogram not just the memory, but your entire perception of possibility. This is the alchemy of memory, turning lead experiences into golden insights. Your past is not a prison, but a classroom. Each memory can be a seed of future joy when you choose to water it with understanding and release. The interpretation is clear. Memories are not fixed points, but flexible territories waiting to be reimagined. By remodeling how you perceive your past, you rebuild the architecture of your future. Practice. Before rest, choose one pleasant memory and expand it until it becomes the climate of your sleep. Dream inside it to multiply its pattern across tomorrow. Chapter 25. The Infinite Present. You have been living everywhere except where life truly breathes, the present moment. Your mind darts between memories of yesterday and projections of tomorrow, like a restless bird never settling on a single branch. But creation does not happen in distant landscapes of memory or anticipation. It unfolds in the sacred, eternal now. Eunice, like many souls trapped in mental time travel, believed that planning could protect her from uncertainty. She would meticulously chart every potential scenario, constructing elaborate mental maps of future possibilities. Yet in this constant preparation, she missed the vibrant whispers of the present, the soft sunlight filtering through her window, the gentle rhythm of her breath, the subtle dance of possibility existing in each moment. Hollis discovered a different path. Instead of escaping the present, he began to inhabit it fully. While washing dishes, he would feel the warmth of water, observe the subtle gleam of ceramic, listen to the soft splash of movement. Mundane tasks transformed into meditation, revealing miracles in the most ordinary moments. His subconscious, no longer fragmented by constant mental wandering, became a clear, receptive vessel. Your subconscious does not understand future tense or past reflections. It knows only now, this breath, this sensation, this precise moment of awareness. When you truly inhabit the present, you become a clear channel for creation. Your inner landscape aligns with the universal pulse, and manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. Every moment contains infinite potential. The present is not a waiting room for something better, but the workshop where reality is sculpted. Your thoughts, when anchored in now, become powerful commands. Anxiety dissolves, replaced by a serene knowing that everything you require is already here, waiting to be recognized. Learn to drop the mental constructs that pull you away from this moment. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Feel the aliveness coursing through your body. Listen to the silent intelligence that breathes you, moves you, creates through you. As sleep approaches, your practice becomes a sacred ritual of presence. Settle into bed, noticing sensations of this instant: breath, texture, temperature. Let consciousness rest in now. Dreams expand it infinitely. Chapter 26. The Sacred Word. Your words are living currents flowing beyond mere sound and into the very fabric of creation. You have forgotten that each utterance carries a vibration, a resonance that shapes the invisible architecture of your reality. When Goldie first began her practice of affirmations, she approached them like a mechanical exercise, repeating phrases with the detached rhythm of someone checking items off a list. "I am successful," she would whisper, her voice flat and uninspired. "I attract abundance." But true manifestation demands more than repetition. It requires the sacred alchemy of emotion, intention, and authentic resonance. Words are not just sounds. They are spells woven from the deepest chambers of your being. Each syllable carries the potential to transform, to reshape the very energetic landscape of your existence. Curtis understood this principle intuitively. When he decided to speak only blessings for a week, he did not merely recite words, he breathed life into them. His declarations were not performances, but prayers, spoken with a tender reverence that made each phrase pulse with genuine power. "May kindness flow easily," he would say, and you could feel the sincerity radiating from his words. The ancient creative law remembers what your conscious mind often forgets. Tone matters more than text. A single sincere declaration, spoken from the heart's true depth, can ripple through reality with more potency than 1,000 hollow affirmations. Your subconscious does not count repetitions. It feels vibrations. When you speak, you are not simply making noise. You are casting spells, invoking energies, and sending forth invisible messengers that will return laden with the very experiences you have summoned. Your words are alive, carrying the DNA of your deepest beliefs and most cherished intentions. As sleep approaches, you stand at the threshold of transformation. The practice awaiting you is not a task, but an invitation, a sacred ritual of alignment. At bedtime, utter one sentence that feels holy to you. Breathe it through every exhale until you sleep within its echo. Chapter 27. The Dance of Joy. In the quiet dance between conscious intention and subconscious whispers, you discover that joy is not merely an emotion, but a powerful transmutation of energy. Minnie's journey reveals a truth often overlooked by those who chase success with grim determination. Joy is the most potent magnetic force in the universe. When Minnie dances, something extraordinary happens. Her body becomes a living invitation to possibility. Each movement releases tension. Each laugh dissolves invisible barriers. Opportunities begin to appear like unexpected guests, drawn not by strategy, but by the vibrant frequency of her happiness. She notices how her most inspired moments emerge not from calculated effort, but from spontaneous delight. Percy experiences a similar revelation. For years, he approached his goals with a warrior's intensity, jaw clenched, muscles tight, mind locked in relentless pursuit. Success felt like a battle to be conquered. But when he softens, allowing playful curiosity to replace rigid ambition, something miraculous occurs. Projects that once felt like mountains now flow like rivers. Connections emerge effortlessly. Inspiration arrives unbidden. The universe, you learn, responds to your emotional signature. Joy is not a reward for achievement, but the very frequency that attracts achievement. It is a signal of alignment, a broadcast that says, I am open, I am ready, I am connected. When you vibrate with genuine happiness, you become a beacon for synchronicity. This is not about forced positivity or denying life's challenges. True joy acknowledges all experiences while choosing to dance with them. It is a radical act of trust, a declaration that you are fundamentally supported by the unseen forces of creation. As the day dissolves and night approaches, you are invited to a simple yet profound practice. Before surrendering to sleep, pause and recall one genuine reason to smile. It might be a small kindness you witnessed, a moment of unexpected beauty, or a personal triumph, however modest. Let that smile take root. Feel it not just on your lips, but allow it to spread through your entire being. Breathe into its warmth. Let your subconscious marinate in this frequency of joy, rehearsing its magic for the morning that awaits. Your dreams will now become a playground of possibility, echoing with the laughter that magnetizes miracles. Chapter 28. The Compassion Code. In the quiet corners of your inner landscape, judgment lives like a stubborn shadow, casting its cold light on everything it touches. You have carried this weight, Nettie, believing that separating yourself from others protects you, when in truth, it only imprisons your spirit. The universe whispers a different wisdom. Compassion is not weakness, but the profound strength that expands consciousness beyond the narrow boundaries of your own limited perception. Your subconscious understands a fundamental truth that your conscious mind struggles to embrace. Unity is the natural state of existence. Every moment you spend judging another is a moment you fragment your own wholeness. When you criticize, you create internal walls. When you understand, you dissolve them. Each act of compassion is like water smoothing rough stone, gradually transforming the landscape of your inner world. Orville discovered this sacred principle during his meditation practices. He began a ritual of silently blessing strangers. The tired cashier, the stressed taxi driver, the lonely elderly person waiting at the bus stop. With each blessing, something remarkable occurred. His own inner landscape shifted. Confidence, which he had long sought through judgment and separation, began to bloom naturally when he chose understanding over criticism. The subconscious does not recognize the artificial boundaries you construct between yourself and others. It perceives connection, not division. Every time you extend compassion, you are sending a signal through your entire energetic system that says, "We are connected. We are fundamentally whole." This signal rewrites old narratives of separation, fear, and isolation. Judgment is a protective mechanism born from fear. Fear of being hurt, of being misunderstood, of being vulnerable. But true strength emerges when you recognize that everyone, including yourself, is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Compassion is the bridge that transforms this fear into understanding, this separation into connection. Your subconscious is constantly listening, constantly recording. When you judge, it registers separation. When you bless, it registers unity. The choice is always yours, to fragment or to integrate, to close down or to open up. Each compassionate thought is a healing balm, not just for others, but for the deepest parts of yourself. Interpretation. Whenever you bless others, you unconsciously bless yourself. You are not separate from the world around you. You are a living, breathing part of its intricate web. As you drift to sleep, imagine everyone you know bathed in soft light, including yourself, resting in shared wholeness. Chapter 29. The Vision Completed. In the soft light of early morning, you find yourself standing at the threshold of transformation. Rosie's journey mirrors your own, a testament to the quiet power of persistent inner vision. Her dream did not burst forth dramatically, but settled into reality with the gentleness of a leaf drifting to earth. The universe speaks in whispers, not thunderclaps. What you rehearse internally becomes external reality with such subtle grace that when manifestation arrives, it feels almost mundane, like a familiar friend walking through a door you've been expecting. Your deepest desires materialize not through struggle, but through consistent emotional alignment. Franklin's revelation echoes this profound truth. The destination matters less than the inner landscape you cultivate while journeying. Each night's visualization, each moment of belief, reshapes your internal architecture. You are not chasing an outcome, but becoming the version of yourself capable of naturally attracting that outcome. Manifestation is not magic, it is alignment. It is the precise matching of your inner emotional frequency with the experiences you wish to encounter. When you consistently feel the joy, abundance, and peace of your desired reality, the external world cannot help but conform. Your subconscious does not distinguish between imagination and reality. It receives your most consistent emotional signals as instructions, blueprinting your experiences with unwavering loyalty. Every feeling you repeatedly inhabit becomes a command, every visualization a potential blueprint. As the chapter reaches its tender conclusion, you are invited into a sacred practice of manifestation. Tonight, as sleep approaches, sink into gratitude. Feel the dreams you cherish not as distant hopes, but as present, living realities already forming in the unseen dimensions of your existence. Let fulfillment saturate your being, not as a promise, but as your current state of being. Rest in the knowing that your inner world is constantly constructing the landscape of your external experience. Breathe into the quiet certainty that what you most deeply desire is already taking shape, guided by the gentle hands of your subconscious mind. Chapter 30. The New Dawn Self. You awaken different, not through dramatic transformation, but through the gentle alchemy of consistent inner work. Like Loretta, who senses a profound shift so subtle it feels both new and eternally familiar, you realize that true change happens in whispers, not thunderclaps. Your subconscious, meticulously cultivated through nightly practices, now mirrors something greater than your individual self. Each thought feels lined with an ineffable peace, as though your inner landscape has been quietly rearranged while you slumbered. The boundaries between your dreams and waking reality have become gossamer thin, transparent. Edwin experiences this same quiet marvel, observing how his outer life has seamlessly aligned with the affirmations he has spoken into darkness. His world now reflects not his efforts, but his essence. The teaching crystallizes a fundamental truth. Transformation occurs not through struggle, but through remembering your inherent wholeness. Each night's gentle reprogramming, each moment of surrender, each visualization of your truest self has been like water wearing away stone. Imperceptible, yet profound. You are not battling to become something. You are allowing yourself to be revealed. The universe does not require your force, only your trust. Your subconscious does not demand grand gestures, but consistent, loving communion. Like a faithful friend, it has been listening, adapting, reflecting back the images you most tenderly hold. As the narrative of your inner world shifts, so too does your external reality. Not through dramatic upheaval, but through the quiet magic of alignment. You are becoming, always becoming, the most radiant version of yourself. The interpretation rings clear. You become new, not by struggling, but by remembering wholeness each night. Practice. As you sleep tonight and every night after, breathe in the certainty that you are already the version of yourself you once sought. Dream as your fulfilled self and awaken as proof. Part 4. The Infinite Continuum. Chapter 31. The Silence Between Thoughts. In the vast landscape of your inner world, silence holds more power than words ever could. Dinah's discovery is a gateway to understanding the profound potential that resides in the spaces between your thoughts. As she sits in meditation, she notices something extraordinary: the delicate pause between inhale and exhale, a moment so brief yet so expansive that it contains entire universes of possibility. This pause is not empty, as most might assume. It is fertile ground where creation takes root, where infinite potential waits to be awakened. Think of it as the silent breath between musical notes, the imperceptible moment where one possibility transforms into another. Your mind, typically a cascade of constant chatter, reveals its true magic in these microscopic moments of stillness. Lionel's experience mirrors this profound truth. By intentionally slipping into mental stillness before sleep, he discovers that his dreams become portals of insight. The solutions that eluded him during his busy, noisy days now emerge naturally, effortlessly. His subconscious, freed from the constraints of active thinking, begins to weave together wisdom from unexpected threads. The universe communicates not through loud proclamations, but through whispers, These whispers are most audible in your quietest moments, the space between breaths, between thoughts, between waking and sleeping. Here, creation does not struggle. It simply exists. Your job is not to force or manipulate, but to become a receptive vessel. When you learn to rest in these moments of pure potential, you tap into a wellspring of creativity that transcends your conscious understanding. Each breath becomes an invitation to infinite choice, each pause a doorway to transformation. The silence is not a void to be filled, but a sacred space to be honored. Your thoughts are like clouds passing through an expansive sky. The sky does not fight the clouds, nor does it cling to them. It simply allows them to move, to change, to dissolve. In the same way, you can learn to observe your thoughts without becoming entangled in their temporary narratives. This practice of noticing the space between thoughts is not about achieving a perfect, thought-free state. It is about recognizing the vast awareness that surrounds and permeates your thoughts. It is about understanding that you are not your thoughts, but the consciousness that witnesses them. As slumber draws near, listen inwardly for the hush beneath your mental chatter. Instead of filling it, rest inside it, as if within a vast, luminous cave, until you drift beyond thoughts and into awareness itself. Chapter 32. The Radiance of Purpose. You stand at the threshold of understanding that purpose is not a destination to be discovered, but a flame you kindle from within. Bonnie's journey mirrors the universal quest many undertake, searching endlessly for a predestined path, only to realize that meaning is not found, but created. In the quiet realm between thoughts, your subconscious holds the most profound truth. Purpose is the luminous energy of focused intention. It is not something external waiting to be uncovered, but a choice you make moment by moment, breath by breath. When you align your inner vision with genuine passion, the universe conspires to manifest that vision. Grover's transformation illuminates this principle perfectly. For years, he doubted his capacity to inspire as a teacher. His inner dialogue was a chorus of uncertainty, questioning whether he truly possessed the gift of education. But something shifted when he began to reimagine himself differently, not as a hesitant instructor, but as a joyful conduit of knowledge. Each night, before surrendering to sleep, Grover would visualize himself standing before a classroom, his eyes alight with enthusiasm. He would feel the electricity of connection, the profound satisfaction of sparking understanding in young minds. These nightly visualizations were not mere daydreams, but intentional reprogramming of his subconscious narrative. Gradually, something remarkable occurred. The external world began to align with his internal image. Opportunities emerged, speaking engagements, mentorship programs, innovative teaching workshops. Colleagues and students started recognizing a transformative energy in his approach. The subtle shift in his self-perception had rewritten the script of his professional life. Purpose, you'll discover, is not a predetermined script, but an emotional frequency you choose to broadcast. It is love, directed with precision, a beam of intention that cuts through uncertainty. When you decide, truly decide, what brings you alive, the universe listens. It does not judge the magnitude of your chosen path, but responds to the authenticity of your commitment. Your purpose is not waiting to be found in distant lands or through epic quests. It resides in the quiet moments of genuine connection. in the activities that make time dissolve, in the spaces where your unique talents intersect with the world's needs. As you prepare to explore the depth of your own purpose, remember that the subconscious is an obedient servant. It will construct reality around the emotional blueprint you consistently project. Your job is not to search, but to choose, and then embody that choice with unwavering belief. Practice. As you lay down, contemplate the single activity that brings you the most peace. See yourself doing it tomorrow with effortless enthusiasm. Sleep as if the world awaits that contribution from you. Chapter 33. The Breath of Light. As you journey deeper into the landscape of consciousness, you discover that breath is not merely a biological function, but a sacred conduit between your physical existence and the infinite realm of potential. Trudy's struggle with sleeplessness reveals a profound truth. Your breath is the most intimate language through which your body communicates with your subconscious mind. For years, Trudy battled restless nights, her mind spinning with anxieties that seemed to grow more intense with each passing hour. She tried medications, meditation apps, and countless relaxation techniques, yet sleep remained an elusive companion. The turning point came when she began to understand breath not as a mechanical process, but as a rhythmic messenger of safety. Imagine your breath as a gentle tide, washing away the day's tensions. Each inhale carries the promise of renewal, each exhale a release of accumulated stress. When you breathe consciously, you send a powerful signal to your subconscious. I am safe. I am at peace. Howard's journey mirrors this discovery. A high-powered executive consumed by stress, he found himself trapped in a cycle of burnout and anxiety. Traditional methods of relaxation failed him until he learned to transform his breath into a luminous practice of healing. He began to visualize each inhale as a stream of pure light entering his body, and each exhale as a gentle dissolution of fear and tension. The breath becomes a bridge between your conscious intentions and your deeper self. It is a rhythm that transcends thought, a meditation more profound than words. When you breathe with awareness, you are no longer simply surviving, you are creating. Each breath is a small act of creation, a moment of choosing peace over panic, presence over worry. Your subconscious listens to the language of breath. It understands the subtle vibrations of safety, of calm, of trust. When you breathe deliberately, you are writing a new script for your inner world. You are telling your deepest self that all is well, that you are supported, that you can release the grip of fear. This is not about forcing relaxation, but about allowing it. Breath is the most natural pathway to stillness, to reconnection with your essential self. It requires no special technique, no complicated practice, just your willingness to be present, to feel, to trust. Tonight, let your breath become a wave of gentle light flowing through you. With every rise and fall, think, I am sustained and renewed. Drift into that shining tide until waking in calm radiance. Chapter 34. The Mind as Garden. Your breath becomes a sacred bridge, whispering ancient wisdom to the depths of your being. Like Trudy, you are learning that each inhale and exhale carries more than oxygen. It transports intention, healing, and transformation. Naomi understands this principle through the language of gardens. She sees her mind as fertile soil, indiscriminately nurturing every seed of thought she plants. Some thoughts are vibrant flowers of possibility. Others are invasive weeds of doubt and fear. The subconscious makes no judgment. It simply grows whatever is planted most consistently. Her garden metaphor becomes a powerful revelation. Each thought is a seed, each emotion the water that helps it take root. Worry becomes thorny brambles. Gratitude blossoms into radiant sunflowers. Anxiety spreads like wild thistle, while love grows sturdy oak trees of resilience. Hubert witnesses this principle through a deliberate experiment. For 30 consecutive nights, he consciously chooses gratitude over complaint. Each evening he reflects on moments of beauty, kindness, and small miracles. Where he once rehearsed frustrations, he now cultivates appreciation. The transformation is not subtle. Coincidences begin to bloom around him like unexpected wildflowers. Strangers smile more frequently. Opportunities appear where obstacles once stood. His internal landscape shifts, and the external world responds in harmonious reflection. This is the art of mental gardening, a practice of constant, gentle vigilance. You are the gardener of your inner world, responsible for what takes root. Some seeds will be carried by wind, some planted unconsciously, but your attention determines what grows to maturity. The universe listens to the language of your thoughts, translating them into the geography of your experience. Each thought is a seed, each emotion the water that nourishes it, each belief the sunlight that helps it flourish. As you fall asleep, picture yourself kneeling in a garden glowing under moonlight. See each thought of love as a seed shimmering into blossom. Trust the harvest beneath your dreams. Chapter 35. The Kingdom Within. You stand at the threshold of your most profound awakening. Like Flora, who dreams of scaling mountains in search of enlightenment, you are about to discover that the summit of wisdom has always resided within you. The journey of consciousness is not an external pilgrimage, but an internal revolution. Your subconscious is not a distant realm to be conquered, but the sacred territory of your own being. Every mountain you've imagined climbing, every distant shore you've sought to reach, exists already in the landscape of your inner world. Sovereignty is not something granted from outside. It is claimed from within. When you truly understand this, the external world transforms. Your inner kingdom becomes the blueprint from which reality is drafted, the sacred template that shapes every experience. Eugene's revelation mirrors your own unfolding understanding. He spent years searching for external signs, chasing confirmations from the world around him. But in a moment of profound stillness, he realized that peace is not discovered, it is remembered. The signs he sought were already living within him, waiting to be acknowledged. Your subconscious is not a separate entity, but an extension of your deepest self. It is the fertile ground where your thoughts take root, where your beliefs bloom into experiences. Every whisper of doubt, every breath of confidence, every silent intention plants a seed in this internal garden. The throne of creation has always been your awareness. You are not a visitor in this inner kingdom. You are the monarch. Your thoughts are the royal decrees, your emotions the currency of creation. When you sit upon this throne of light with calm certainty, the universe aligns to reflect your inner state. This is not a metaphorical concept, but a living truth. Your awareness is the central point from which all experiences radiate. What you cultivate internally manifests externally with precise intelligence. Doubt creates landscapes of uncertainty. Love creates realms of abundance. Fear constructs walls. Courage builds bridges. As you prepare to embrace this truth, remember that claiming your inner sovereignty is not a battle, but a gentle awakening. It is a recognition, a homecoming to the power that has always resided within you. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine a throne of light in your chest. Sit upon it calmly and whisper, "I now rule my inner world with love." Sleep as the monarch of your destiny. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. As you reflect on this transformative journey through the landscape of your inner world, you realize that the sleeping mind is not a distant realm, but the very heart of your creative power. Your subconscious has been listening all along, waiting for you to speak with kindness, clarity, and trust. Each night, you have learned to plant seeds of intention, water them with emotion, and allow the universe to nurture their growth. The path you've traveled reveals a profound truth. Transformation is not about forcing change, but about creating a gentle, loving dialogue with your deepest self. Your thoughts are not random whispers, but sacred instructions that shape the fabric of your reality. When you speak to your subconscious with reverence, it responds with a symphony of synchronicity and grace. You have discovered that rest is not merely a pause between days, but a sacred ceremony of creation. Every breath you take as you drift into sleep is a bridge between your conscious desires and the infinite potential waiting to be realized. The kingdom within is not a distant castle, but the luminous landscape of your own awareness, where every thought becomes a brushstroke, painting the masterpiece of your life. Your journey has transformed sleep from a passive state of unconsciousness into an active realm of manifestation. You now understand that you are both the dreamer and the dream, the creator and the creation, forever dancing in the infinite continuum of your own potential.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.